Alright guys, welcome back to round 3 coverage at the 2021 Alberta Provincial Disc Golf Championships hosted by the Grand Prairie Disc Golf Club.
This is our lead card, and we'll be playing this round at the Evergreen course. Our title sponsor for Provincials is Playfair, Promo, and Athletics.
We've got Brant Tractor, they're our Evergreen course sponsor. Thank you to those guys. And we've got Pizza Hut, Pomeroy Lodging, and Dane Montgomery. Whether you're hungry, need lodging, or need a permanent house, call those guys.
We have Casey Hanemayer from Cranbrook, Mike Heckbert from Grand Prairie, Matt Riordan from Canmore, and Bogdan from Calgary.
We'll attempt his name later on. I'm willing to give it one shot in this round.
Okay.
But I need it written in front of me first. Alright guys, so we're CanWest Disc Golf Media. And we're going to start here on what is the fourth hole on the course. It's a par 4, 320 feet. You don't need a lot of distance off the tee. You just need to get straight, push a little bit left, kind of get past these trees, giving yourself a nice little approach to the green. But if you get off the fairway left or right, you're going to have to scramble and just kind of hope for a par. So we've got Casey out of Cranbrook, BC, leading the way at 9 down. And he's just got it off a little bit to the left.
And here's Mike Heckbert, sponsored by Top Link Disc Golf. It's a Grand Prairie local. That was a very nice drive. He's going to be in the ideal landing zone.
Yeah, so Mike finds himself 3 strokes behind Casey for the lead, so he's going to have to do some work here if he wants to make a push for that.
Third on the tee, we have Matt Riordan from Canmore. Gets through the tunnel nicely. Tree knocks him down. He'll be a little short of the ideal landing zone.
That looked like a favorable tree kick, a little bit back towards the middle. And here we've got Bogdan Szafranowicz, -4 coming into the day. And he's out of Calgary. And he's been on all of our coverage, so he's doing something right so far.
Yeah. I didn't hear a tree on his shot, so I'm presuming he made it enough into the landing zone. And here's Casey working on that very, very busy left side.
Yeah, so here's where the extra height comes in handy. Ability to stretch out and at least get a bit of a forehand. Gets kind of a bad kick and rolls off a bit to the left side.
So he'll be still working to hopefully get his 4 on this hole.
Yeah, so here you can, it's a good image of when you get straight but you don't get quite the distance, you're still going to have these random trees to try and pick your way through. And Matt looked like he did a decent job. He didn't get quite up to the green, but he's through the main danger anyways.
Mm-hmm. And Bogdan had a really nice landing zone, a straight shot to the basket, just caught one of those late guardian trees and kicked to the left.
Yeah, Mike actually got quite a bit of distance on there, on his shot. And it looks like he got decently up there towards the pin, so.
And this is Casey's 3rd shot, so he's up there. He'll get his 4 for the hole. But it looks like he might be losing 1 stroke to Mike.
Yeah, you can see the rain jacket's on. We can hear the rain just pittering down. So it's definitely a bit of a wet morning for these guys as well, which is going to add a bit of difficulty. And being in the trees, everything's going to stay wet a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Another thing to note, this course is built in a very sandy area, so the rain and the sand mix for a very odd combination, on those discs. So you'll see the towels out, they'll be cleaning them quite often.
Yeah, Mike gets his birdie, so that's a good start for him. Now the par. Casey with a bogey. Yeah, that's right. Because he had that early hit, and then the other early hit.
Yeah.
And Bogdan with the par.
Okay, on to our second hole of this final round. This is a par 3, 290 feet, very tight tunnel shot, and it just fades slowly off to the right. You're going to want a glidey mid-range that will just hold that line that you put it on.
Yeah. So Mike just catches that right side. He's going to be kind of at the front wall of trees on the left side there. So he should be able to hopefully just punch something up to the green. Hopefully he's mostly all the way through.
And that experience from Canmore coming in, being able to start the tunnel, but just catching one of the last trees on the left for Matt.
And that was a nice flippy disc for Bogdan. Stands it up in the tunnel. And then there's a couple bunkers. Once you get out of that main tunnel, you've got a couple bunker trees that you got to miss if you want to get towards the green and try for a birdie anyways.
Mm-hmm. And that tree he hit right at the end of the flight, that one's only about 20 feet out from the basket, correct?
Yeah, I think he's just I think there's two sets of bunkers there. I think he's at the farther one, so just outside circle 1. I've also looked at the edited coverage, so I'm kind of cheating.
Casey's really having a tough time in these first couple of holes. So
You can see he wasn't actually that far off, but he gets the bad kick. You know, you'd rather miss by 2 feet than 1 foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just takes his medicine, pitches out, smart play. There you can see that footing. It's hard to find footing in all this underbrush and the wet sand like you were talking about.
it looks like he would have landed in round circle 1 there. So not a bad upshot. And that drive of Matt's was just a little short of where he wanted, had a few guardian trees to contend with. So he'll have 60 or 70 feet down this path to get up to the basket.
Yeah, and you can see he's basically right at the end of that initial tunnel, and you can see the basket is kind of tucked behind the tree at the end of this path there. So those are those 2 tree bunkers that we're talking about when we're talking about how well guarded this basket actually is. And that's a good up. He gave himself a putt, and that's all he needed to do.
Okay, so we're going to see a high spiking forehand from Mike Heckbert, and just coming in towards the basket. Caught a late little branch, knocked him down, unfortunately. Okay, so I was wrong about Bogdan's drive. There was the 2 sets of trees. He hit the first set of trees coming into the basket. So
yeah. Now he's hit the first set for the second set. So
yeah, now he's hit those last.
Now he's in circle trees. 1. This is Casey's par run. And the line looked good without that branch hit.
Well, Casey had a pitch out to the road, so that was his 4th shot. So Mike here looking to get a par and a couple of strokes on Casey if he can hit this circle 2. And just a little bit too much on it, but you know, he didn't push himself too far. He'll have an easy comeback.
Good putt by Bogdan there. Saves the par.
Mm-hmm. Able to straddle out around that tree.
That's going to take some strokes on the whole card there.
I think so, yeah. Here's Mike for his bogey.
low left always catches.
Mm-hmm. I believe Matt would also be looking at his bogey putt here.
Yeah, because he had that.
Yeah, he
that
kicked
kick
off
out
the
of-
trees. So yeah, with this inclement weather, wet conditions, you need, think about every shot. You want to make sure you're focused.
Yep. Think about the camera too. You can see Richie's got the cover coming out over it there early on in this one. So Casey takes a double, and
Just like that, we have ourselves a competition. With Matt and Bogdan just 2 strokes behind Casey and Mike.
all right, this is our third hole. This one's extended out to a par 5 for the tournament here, registering at 888 feet. It's a very good number there. Not much elevation change, but here's your ideal landing if you can get there off your drive. It's a very tight corner, and usually shots dump out early. Up here, this is where the par 4 basket is. Pay no attention to that. So this is kind of the second landing area that you're going to want to get to if you're going to try and get this green for a birdie chance. So there's no basket in this, but right where the Jones sitting, that's where the basket is. So Bogdan gets the box with that par.
Yeah, so you can see our spotter about 300 feet down the fairway. That's where you're going to want to get your disc, and then just slightly to the left. You don't want to be hyzering out too early, and you do not want to turn it over into the right-hand side.
That's club founder Dylan Bressy out there. Yeah, so Mike hits an early tree. Didn't look like he got too much of a kick, just kind of a drop down there. So depending, as long as he's not in a bush, he should have a pretty open shot for a second one. You can see he hung it out along that right side of the line on the hyzer, which really gave him that extra space there to get it all the way out of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to see if he made it into the landing zone, or if he's going to be short in amongst the trees.
In case he pushes that right side even more, and this looks even better.
Yeah, that looks like it had the distance to get into, honestly, the laneway for the rest of the fairway. So
yeah. And we should mention Casey is sponsored by Prodigy Discs as well as Gander Disc Golf in Edmonton.
So here's that early left. You can see since he didn't kick too far, he does have a look. It's just going to be more about placement than distance.
Yeah, so I believe that got back out to the fairway. This is Bogdan, most likely.
Yeah, nice little roll.
Oh, yeah, you can see it roll across the fairway there. So he got some decent distance out of that one, and he managed to stay in the fairway. So
yeah. So just as I was thinking, Matt didn't quite have enough to get to that fairway on his drive, but he was able to get it out very nicely. Going just past the par 4 basket.
yeah, that's really the ideal second landing zone. So Casey's looking to put some distance on this one.
Yeah, he's requested some spotters, and which is good advice. This is a fairly
new hole, so that
Yeah.
the rough is not beat in. This is the Dylan Bressy cam, way down there on catch. So you can see the disc went over the head, and he's up there near the green for sure. So Casey making up some ground in this hole so far. That's just kind of low and turned over.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to go for the green on that shot, but just gave it a little bit too much juice.
Yeah, where they are from here, they should all be kind of attacking that green. At least putting it,
Yeah.
even if you don't get to the green, you'll at least have an easy chip out for your par.
Yeah. Yeah, you still have to give it the height, though. Give it a chance.
It's Matt taking the high hyzer in.
Yeah. It's an excellent upshot. I didn't think his drive would have such a clear second shot, but he's looking for a birdie now.
Yeah, saw you cut that last tree and just dropped down, so hopefully he's clear of the trees though. And Mike just spiking up there. I think he's going to be circle one, yeah. But edge of circle one. This is Bogdan down there in the trees.
All right. That was a nice out from where he was. And is this one Matt then?
This one, yeah, I think that's Matt.
Okay. Yeah, so he did land a little.
So here's where Casey's drive. So he's past the basket. This is for eagle.
Wow. That was fantastic. I like the two cameras.
Yeah, I had to use the Bressie footage. I got it, so.
Thank you, Dylan Bressie, for the additional footage. And this is Mike looking at maybe a par.
Yeah, that would have been his par putt.
Okay.
So
Bogdaning his par. So all those strokes that Casey had given up in the first two holes, he has taken right back on this third hole.
Yeah, he had a 3-shot lead to start the day, and that's what he's got currently. So
yeah, does not take much to change it. So our fourth hole, par 3, 170 feet, very tight little ace run. Just want to throw a putter straight at it as best you can.
Yeah, so it's a tight little lane, and even up near that green, there's a lot of trees just dotting around it. So you can be in circle one, and you're going to have to do a straddle or some weird stance typically to get a nice putt on the green, on the basket.
Yeah.
And Bogdan just hits that right tree that leans over the fairway. Gets a forward piercing kick at least to the left. So should be able to at least work up for a par from there. Matt electing to go standstill with his ultimate spin.
That was a very good shot. Just caught that last tree as it came into the basket. So he'll be looking at an easy birdie.
Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of an early release, but he gets up there, at least past the first part of the tunnel, so. Yeah, so there is a wall of trees along that left side, 15 feet out from the basket, so Bogdan was trying to swing something inside and just kind of caught a tree and dropped.
Yeah, and we're looking at Mike's birdie attempt in circle 2. Looks fairly clear.
It is going to be a low ceiling putt though. So, a little offline there. Probably wasn't able to give it the height he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. We'll have Casey and Matt in the circle to clean up their birdies.
Bogdan cleans up his par.
And this is the danger with the hole, is if you miss a putt and you push it 20 feet, you can get amongst the trees and potentially lose your comeback putt. But Mike's able to put away his par.
Yeah, and that was a great drive for Matt. Nice birdie to push for a tie for second right now.
Yep.
All right, this is hole 5, par 4. This is a dog leg to the left. It's 410 feet, but really all you can get off of for distance off the tee is right about here. You don't want to go too long or you're going to be pinching yourself off. Then you've got this tunnel approach to the green, which kind of wides off to the right, and then you've just got to find a way through these trees there, and kind of hope for a putt.
Yeah, so for the most part, you'll see putters or slow mid-range being thrown. Some people will elect for a very overstable fairway driver and try and flare around the corner to get a little extra distance up the fairway if they can. But
yeah, so both Casey and Matt look like they've got putters in their hand. Yeah, and Matt finds that one tree up there in the fairway, which is about 20, 25 feet short of the corner, and it just leaves you behind a wall of trees.
I like it. I like it. Yes.
I'm excited to see where that ends up because, well,
Yeah,
as a local, I don't see many people play that high route very often. So
no, because you need such distance control, and when you put in that much height and that much angle on the disc, it's going to be hard to kind of get it where you want it. So Mike goes for a more inside line, catches that middle center tree, and it just kind of drops down. So here's that wall of trees I was talking about, and it literally is a wall of trees. There's a couple hero gaps you can kind of go for if you're feeling it, or if you're kind of pushed up close enough to it, but there's not much from where he's sitting right now.
yeah, and the one thing you can tell through the coverage here is these trees are tall. There's not a lot of going over the trees. You can try and get above the evergreens and hit gaps, but you're not getting above the deciduous trees here.
Well, and you're also probably about 300 from the tee there, or
Yeah.
from the basket. So even if you were to go up, it'd be straight up, straight down.
Yeah.
So Mike chipped out, and Casey just punches towards the green. That was a nice shot, but he just catches a skinny tree and drops.
Yeah.
So Matt did give himself a good position with that little layout, though.
And great shot. Guardian trees around the basket. There's many of them, and there's not a lot of space between them.
No, that was a good double kick right there to kind of keep him in the main fairway. You should have a look. It might be a straddle, but he'll have a look.
Was this Bogdan's drive?
This was Bogdan's drive, yeah. So he got
a lot of distance down that fairway, but only left himself a turnover.
yeah, which is his main play. So
Yeah.
it should be favoring him quite well.
Get all the way through then. Go.
I just can't swing it back to the right on that one, and so he's down that left side of the Y. So he's gonna kind of have to cut across the top now.
That's nice.
And this is Mike from his chip out, so that's his third shot.
Yeah, it looks like he put himself around circle one, maybe a little long into the right, but
And Bogdan just on that left side of the Y, and puts it through. I think he got through most of the way.
Casey looking at circle two for his birdie. See if he can navigate the trees.
going for a hyzer putt, and I think he just caught the basket on that one.
Yeah.
And you can see even Matt, he's got a clear stance, but he's got that one tree directly in line with the basket that he kind of had to try and swing around. Mike actually got really close.
Yeah. So a little 15-foot putt for his par.
Yeah, no, a par on this, you're not losing too many strokes to too many folks.
No, a par is a good score on this hole. So.
Yeah, you see we had 2 perfect drives on this hole, and still par's the best score.
And Matt, with that shorter drive, having to take the bogey on the card. So going into hole 6, this is another par 4, 580 feet. We're looking at a tunnel shot to an open landing area on the right. You want to get around 250 to 300 feet of distance. And then coming down this longer corridor with a guardian tree in the middle and the basket up on the bridge. So, no out of bounds, but definitely tricky terrain, and it's all about placement for this one.
Yeah, and you can see that hill that the basket is up on. There's some thick brush to the left just before, so you really want to, if you're going to err, you want to err to that right side because it is more open as you approach the green.
Yeah. So we saw Casey first throw a very nice forehand. Looks like he got through the tunnel and just went a little long the main landing zone.
And Bogdan with a very nice shot shape, swinging it left to right.
Yeah, I really like that turnover backhand because it flattens out and you can get a little bit of extra distance, and for leading to an easier second shot. So.
Yeah, Mike with a similar line, he just catches a tree as it comes out of that gap. And Matt a little bit more inside to the right, but he's able to punch through. So we've got 4 what I think is out of the gap on this one.
And Casey having the power to be able to take that strong forehand, but plays it a little strong to the left, it looks like.
Yeah.
Did you get back to the fairway?
I can't remember.
Okay. So you can't see the corridor they're aiming for, so they're going for shots that move to the right, but then flatten out. So Heckbert's going for a turnover to flat and hopefully gliding it into the pin.
Yeah, so I think Mike got back to the fairway there. You can see the tail end of that flight.
Yeah. Bogdan in a much better angle. You can see the basket in the distance, but fades off to the left into the mess of trees before the basket.
And here's Matt's second shot. So he got quite a bit of distance, but he's up in the rough on the right. And there you can see he pushes it all the way back onto that upper ledge, and he made it through the wall on the right.
Honestly, that was really good. So
yeah.
Heckbert had put himself in a really nice spot there, just not able to connect with that circle 2 putt.
So I think this is Matt's birdie putt.
From that drive, that was a phenomenal placement.
Mm-hmm.
So seems like we're going to see a lot of pars here, but that was a well played hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard birdie, so unfortunate that none of the guys were able to get it on this card, but I'm impressed.
Yeah, par frame. All right, moving into hole 7, par 4, 430 feet. You got a Mando tree on the right there that we just flew past. So you're gonna have to either take a shot down this corridor and try and swing something through, or you can take it up above the trees, swinging on that Anheuser line, or if you've got it a power forehand. Then as you approach this green, you've got more trees on the left, so you want to kind of approach the basket from the right side.
So kind of as the start of that drive, it looks like Casey went with a power forehand, and he's trying to get over all the trees.
Bogdan goes on the outside of that tree. You can see it just flattening out there, and that can get a lot of distance.
Yeah, it really kind of saw it at the end of its flight there.
Yeah, so that's down there. It's pushed on the left side, so he's going to be kind of looking at all those trees that are guarding the basket. But he got a decent distance.
Mm-hmm. Heckbert taking the designed route of the course and right up the middle, and Matt electing to take the Anheuser turnover, try to get over the trees, catches one and drops a little earlier than he wanted. But he's in a good spot. He didn't go too deep, so he still has some fairway to access on his second shot.
In this patent pending, it might be difficult to get the disc all the way to the green, but he just catches one of those small trees as he's trying to get out.
And Heckbert with the design drive, he's now just got a simple spike hyzer into the basket, about 180 feet, would you say?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. He's going to have to put some extra power on it and swing her out wide, and he just catches that one tree that's there.
Yeah, the tree to aim for, the tree to miss.
So here's Casey. I think he was kind of just ahead and to the left of where Mike was, but he looks like he's got a much more open line to the basket.
And that was well played, putting it right next to the basket.
Bogdan going forehand.
There you go.
Finds a way through.
Okay. And after that second shot tree hit, Heckbert's looking at another little hyzer into the basket.
Yeah, this should be a much more routine hyzer shot for him. Yeah, he puts it nice and close.
Yeah. Be able to clean up the par from there. And Matt, after that unfortunate second shot, is going to be looking to clean up his bogey, I believe.
Nice birdie for Casey, who moves it to -10.
And nice birdie for Bogdan. So
Bogdan's now got a share of second, and Casey's put some separation between him and second place right now.
Yep. And there's that bogey putt for Matt, and the par for Mike. Going into hole 8, this is our top of the ridge shot, par 3, 340 feet. So the basket plays at the end of this ridge, and just slightly off to the left. Play is forehand, moving left to right, or just lace the fairway driver down the ridge itself. And you see Casey playing the forehand route. Getting up, he'll be close to circle 1.
Yeah, that was a nice shot. Nice and low, and kind of got it to finish before it got to all the trees that are right around that basket there.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the players are contending with any headwinds today. So
And Bogdan just gets a nice S flight of the disc, and seems like he should be pretty, I'd say probably 15, but it's hard to tell.
Yeah, for those of you that caught the round 1 coverage, it's very similar to the shot Bogdan had round 1. So Heckbert leaving it just a little short, catching one of the front trees, but he'll be in that edge of circle 1 into circle 2 distance. Matt electing with the mid-range and catching one of the middle trees on the left, so he'll have a bit of distance to go on the second shot.
Yeah, well, it looked like a good recovery shot though. Didn't get too far past the basket.
Yep.
So here's Mike Heckbert for birdie.
It's got that circle 2 look. This green can be dangerous. It looks like we didn't get to mowing, so there is enough little foliage to catch the disc from rolling down the hill. But yeah, Bogdan has a nice birdie on that really nice drive, and Casey overthrew the basket, it looks like. So a little comebacker for birdie. Catches it off the top band. And
this isn't Casey, this is Matt. That was Matt for birdie.
oh,
That's Matt for his bogey.
my fault. Sorry about that. They both have that kind of grayish coloring on their shirt.
Casey able to put in another birdie. He's rolling now.
Mm-hmm.
Like clean up his par. Bogdan with the birdie moves into sole possession a second. All right, this is hole 9, par 4, 490 feet. It's down 30 feet of elevation. So you've got that tight gap that you've got to hit off the tee, and then you've got to kind of keep driving the disc, and you want it to keep turning over to the right as you kind of approach this green. There's OB down the left side, and if you get a good shot, you can get all the way down to the green for an eagle look. It's Casey lining up a forehand. And he's able to get it up to stand up nicely there.
It was very well done. Most people like for the back end because it finishes flat and then fading to the left, whereas the forehand typically wants to go into the trees on the right. So you see Bogdan with the backhand and getting that distance with the slight left finish.
It's very similar to his round 1 shot.
Yeah.
And Mike, it's a very nice shot. Good height on that disc.
It's all right.
That's massive.
That's gotta be
He's
Yeah.
a little
Pin
bit to
high,
the
but
right,
it's,
but he is pin high. So
Yeah. Showing that local route of someone who's played this course many times, and Matt electing to try the same shot, executing.
yeah,
So-
only difference between him and Mike was a bit of height on the disc, I think.
Mm-hmm. So this is identical to round 1. I feel like you just took that footage from round 1 for Bogdan.
Yeah, I just edited Joe out. That's all.
Yeah. So I see what you mean by Matt. Just had it a little bit lower, so a little bit shorter pin height.
Casey with a circle 2 eagle putt here.
That was a good run for Casey.
Yeah, just left it a bit short, but no comebacker at all. And here's Mike's eagle putt.
Just a little too short in those trees. He could use the height advantage that Casey and Bogdan have when they're playing.
perfect balance.
Oh.
A nice birdie putt for Bogdan,
Way harder than it should have been.
Yeah,
and everyone else should be cleaning up here.
With the ball.
Might get a star frame.
Like cutting off.
Yeah, should definitely be a star frame now with Casey and Mike with easy putts.
Yeah, and that is our front 9 coverage of round 1. It's great disc golf. A lot better conditions than for round 3, and a lot better conditions than round 1 was. So good to see.
A lot less wind.
Yeah.
So we've got Casey. He's 3 down on the round. Really recovered after going 3 over on the first 2 holes, and he's minus 12. Mike Heckbert, kind of quiet, even, minus 6. Matt slipped a bit, but he's still in it at minus 3, plus 2 on the round. And Bogdan, he's done a bit of work. He's pushed ahead of Mike now with a minus 3 so far on that front 9. He's sitting 7 down.
Yeah. So thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you on the back 9.
Like, subscribe.